This is The Rome Show with your hosts, Andrew Romanella.
I legitimately watched the entire women's triathlon the other day. I gotta tell you, that was exhilarating stuff. Like, I was locked in because...
And Rocky Romanella.
Right? I want to start hearing that it's important that a team is practicing their defensive 2-minute drill, because no one in the NFL can stop anyone with like, if you have over a minute left, you're kicking a field goal every time.
And now, if you are kicking a field goal every time, you're probably going to miss it with how the NFL is moving these days. Good morning, everybody, and welcome in to The Rome Show here on 12 Ounce Sports Radio and Zingo TV, channel 761, Facebook and YouTube Live. We will retweet the Twitter link that leads you to 12ouncesportsradio.com if that's how you normally follow along with us. I am Andrew Romanella. On the other side of the Zoom is Mr. Rocky Romanella, and I know, Rocky, you are fired up on this Monday morning.
It was an incredible day. It was an incredible week 5. You know, the NFL was going nuts. The White Sox won a game, which makes me happy because I put them in the World Series.
I thought about that after the first game. I was like, oh no, Rocky's bold prediction might be going downhill.
Yeah. And thankfully, it's week 1 of the NHL this week, so my fanship mental state can recover and get back to normal.
And I really appreciate the fact that you are excited on Monday because of how bad the New York Football Giants played yesterday. But once you texted me Rocky's rundown and I saw that it was obviously the start of the NHL season, I'm like, this only makes sense.
I don't know if the Giants played that bad yesterday. I think that they got crushed by injuries. They dropped an interception right before a first half touchdown, which could have changed the entire complexity of the game. And they lost their starting quarterback, their number one running back, and in the first half. And their defense, they gave up 44 points, but think about when the 44 points came comparative to when the injuries came.
Yeah, I hear you, but I'm going to play dad on this one, and you can't be playing me on this one. The Giants suck. Their defense should be way better. And bad football teams drop that interception instead of catching an interception. I watched an Atlanta Falcons game where they dropped an interception in the end zone. That led to them losing a football game, and now I've watched them against the Dallas Cowboys miss an interception.
To what extent I crushed the defense at the beginning of the year, but going into the missed interception, you already recovered a fumble and intercepted Dak Prescott.
No doubt. But at the end of the day, you gave up 44 points.
So again, you go into the second half. How about Jason Garrett for calling a bootleg on a 3rd and inches and just run the ball down their throat again?
It's so easy for everyone to crush Jason Garrett. Didn't you just say you lost your starting running back? You don't have your left tackle? Yeah, so maybe
you lost a starting running back after a play. He rolled his ankle. The guy is so injury prone, it's ridiculous. You want me to get fired up about something?
Okay.
But the fact that you're literally 3rd and inches on the goal line, and you just run an HB or FB dive again, which you ran on 4th down to score the touchdown, right? And then that he's not throwing the ball to, just get buried. I mean, I'm sorry, you didn't put the kid in a position to be successful on that play.
Well, I do think that bootlegging Daniel Jones is something that Giants fans have been screaming for them wanting Jason Garrett to do for a long time now. So he might get hurt on it, but you can't be hypocritical and scream for him to get Daniel Jones outside the pocket. Then he gets outside the pocket and he gets hurt. That's the nature of the game.
I mean, come on, outside the pocket. He's on the goal line, dude. He's on the goal line.
All right, we could debate this all day. I'm just telling you that at the end of the day, your defense is terrible, and there's no way around it. Jason Garrett could be the best play caller in the world. They're still losing that football game. They're still going to be 1-4 because the strength of your team is not the defense. We're going to move on, though, here on the Rome Show because that's not what we are trying to start the day with. You can get us on Instagram and on Twitter at Wide World of Rome. We got a question sticker rolling around on the Instagram right now. We just want to know what your vibes are after the weekend. Like Rockies right now are for some weird reason that the defense was semi-decently okay for the Giants. Crazy to me. Whereas on the opposite, I'm just telling you it's over for the Dolphins. I want to suck for somebody. I don't want it to be Tua again, but I want to suck for somebody because trying to play to be good right now for the Dolphins really isn't working out. So I don't really know. But either way, give us your hot takes at Instagram at Wide World of Rome. Your show lineup today is fantastic. We start with
That's an
Rockies.
incredible take. That's
We-
an
We start with Rocky's rundowns today on the Rome show. We move beyond that. Rocky might not be with us the entire show. It's a Monday. He's got some really important things to do at his actual job. So we continue on without him at some point in the day, but we'll get our Rocky's rundowns down. Some good college football this weekend. Obviously, we have your highlights. We have the Romeo Awards. I got some morning hot takes for the people and so much more. Just remember that you can get over to Facebook, The Rome Show 1, and you can comment on the Facebook section, or like I just said, at Wide World of Rome on Instagram. Head over into our story, and you can throw it in on the sticker section. Rocky, are you ready for the rundown?
I am ready for the rundown.
All right, let's roll.
Rockies.
Rockies.
Run it down.
Music keeps me on and on.
Oh, what an introduction, ladies and gentlemen. It is Rocky's Rundown. I'm Rocky, and I'm going to be rolling with you for the next 30 minutes or so. We've got a lot to cover. I can't move on without commenting on Andrew's just overall hypocritical attitude towards both his team and mine, because it is just ridiculous. As everyone in the NFL is crushing Daniel Jones from preseason through week 4, I'm crushing the defense. I wake up on a Monday, week 5, and, you know, well, I feel bad for the defense because they had zero help on the other side of the ball due to injury. And now everyone thinks that, oh, now the defense finally sucks. Thanks. You just played the highest scoring offense in the league almost. And you played him at home. And, oh, by the way, you were like tied going into halftime. Okay, down by 1 touchdown, and you were in the game. So, by the way, the next hypocritical statement, I didn't even have the Dolphins on my rundown, by the way.
You
I
shouldn't.
actually had, if I
Just run past them. They stink.
Tom Brady for 5 TDs, no big deal. Here's what I'm going to say: the fact that he's like I can't wait for Tua's gone now. I don't even care about Tua.
No. I didn't say Tua's gone. First off, and this is not hypocritical. My entire career that Tua has been in the league, I've not wanted him. I wanted Justin Herbert. We can go back on that podcast, everybody. It's docked up. Just head over to the Apple, Spotify, type in Wide World of Rome and subscribe. Okay. I've been saying this from the get-go. Was I more excited about Tua as he's gone on a little bit? Yes. But then when he got injured, we can go back on that show too. I said that I don't know if this is going to be a real thing because we don't have enough if he gets hurt, and I don't even know if we have enough if he's not injured. So you can continue.
Speaking of Justin Herbert, him and Baker and the
Torn shoulder for
Browns and
Baker, by the
Chargers
way.
combined for 6 touchdowns in the fourth quarter yesterday, mounting an incredible comeback from a Charger point. Outside of the fact that it was just really fun to watch, I have a couple of takeaways from that game. What do you got?
Well, the first thing I want to say is I now, even though we've gone at each other's throats here to start the show, I have to give you credit because last week you went on about how it was so impressive that Baker got injured, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. He got hurt. He came back into the game, whatever. And then we find out that he like tore his labrum in his left shoulder or whatever it was. And he comes out and he continues to play. Well, I came in here and wrote down, I got to give Rocky credit for his Baker Mayfield take. That was a phenomenal. That's a great take out of you. And I think that energy, what Baker brings to that team, is probably a difference maker. Do I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league? No. But I think that it's almost like that Cleveland Browns attitude he brings on a daily basis. And it's almost like stuff like that works in his favor. He injures his shoulder. It works in his favor. The guys want to play harder around him.
Yeah, no doubt. And when you look at that game, I mean, that game is probably a really good like analogy for or what happened in football throughout yesterday. Right. There was a ton of points scored yesterday. There was lead changes. We went back and forth, and there was just a ton of blown pass interference and refereeing debacle that I just thought were awful. I mean, to call off defensive pass interference against the Browns, and then to not call defensive pass interference on the Hail Mary at the end is just brutal. And then when you look at the Giant game, the lack of call on pass interference in the end zone against Kadarius Toney getting pushed over, and you look at just a handful of other calls throughout the league. I mean, it was a pure NFL day yesterday, and Baker versus Herbert is kind of the epitome. Like high scoring, lead changes, everyone's excited about the excitement. Terrible calls. I hate the NFL because of all of the bad, inconsistent refereeing. It's got everything.
I mean, I don't know if you hate the NFL. That's a really hard statement, but I would say that I think
I hate the refereeing.
that, yeah, I think officiating, and I don't think this is just in the NFL though, dude. I think this is across all sports. I mean, I just think it's bad. It's bad, and it's continuing to get worse. It's not getting any better. That's what it feels like to me, at least.
No, all I know is that when games are too exciting, refereeing gets worse when it should get better.
Well, because it's almost like
and-
they find themselves sitting there like, oh, yeah, like, oh, this game is good. I want to get in on this action. It's like, dude, the less you do every time, the better the sporting event is. The better it is.
To quote
We
a
don't
friend of
want
mine-
you.
to
We
quote
don't
a-
care.
Yeah, to quote a friend of mine named Kunu, the less you do, the more you do.
Oh, wow.
So I got a couple.
I don't wear a
here.
watch
got a
since I
couple
moved out
quick
here.
hitters. I don't know what you said because you cut out, but I think it was funny.
It was.
So all I'm gonna say is the Raiders finally look like the Raiders. Thankfully, we're not crazy.
No, we aren't. That's
I'm
the best
happy
hot
about
take we've
that.
ever had.
What's that?
The best hot take we've ever had.
No doubt. And then I've got the Niners are actually starting to look dumb, which makes me happy too, because it makes me feel like we were right there. And then I've got one here. It's a quick